As you sow, so shall you grow. So. Uh-huh. Now maybe you'll get a dogwood tree right up there. See? Ah, that's nice. You hurt your little head. Now, Pudgy, you stay here and take good care of him. Come out, Pudgy. Now they're gone. Thanks to dear old Scarecrow.
And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. All right, Twitch is good. Two fish. And oop, put you over there. Let's pop over here. Let's take a look at this. Let's pop over here. YouTube has sound. All right, we're good to go. I am working on coveralls and underwear and maybe an asymmetrical swimsuit. I think tonight I'm going to try to do a little bit of work on the coveralls and then work on either underwear or an asymmetrical swimsuit. We'll try to do that. We'll try to start that at 8. So let's do a little bit of coverall work. I'm ready to start putting the materials together. Well, I did all the materials and substance today, so ready to start making map files. Although I'm not happy with my bump map, so I'm going to try to maybe adjust that to get a little more texture out of it. And Daz is doing nothing. Do I have? Oh, I have substance open. Hey. First off, let me get in here and I'm going to tweak my my bump map so it's a little bit better. Da, 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 da. Oh, I still have to save dirty versions too. I'll do that later. Maybe, maybe not. There's Daz. All right, we'll put Daz off to the side for a second. Actually, did I knock out the dirty versions yet? I didn't. I'm going to go ahead and knock out. I just have to do the color maps, I think. Or did I do those already? Actually, I did those already. Never mind. I just want to adjust the bump. My bump isn't showing enough bump. Bumpity bump. So we're going to take a look at the height map. And I'm going to... We're just going to hide a bunch of stuff in here. I'm going to focus on getting the cotton to pop a bit more texture, I think is what we'll do. So I think I'm pretty much going to, and I want to keep the zipper open. Okay, so I don't need that. Hide the normal, invert. I think, is that the sewing? That's the sewing, so I think I'm going to keep that. That is, I don't actually need these, and they don't do anything. These are colors, so I'm going to just hide all the color maps. And we're going to pop down to this right down in here and see if I can get that. You know what? That's not contributing anything to the normal map, is it? It is now, I think. Yeah, we're going to... Actually, if I add a little to the normal map, that might punch things up. Also, I want to... Hey, Rod, how are you doing? Also, I want to add a little bit more texture in the height map. So I think maybe I need to add a filter in here to kind of do levels with the height map a little bit on this layer. Uh-oh, I hit something, didn't I? Aren't you supposed to have a... Why am I not seeing you? Hmm. 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 Yo, Leo, hear you. Overall is to cover everything. I know, how annoying. That's okay. I'm going to have options where you have short sleeves and short pants and make it into a play suit. So if I turn you off, am I still getting height? I still have a height map in there. Doing pretty good. Went to the doctor's office today. Joe's doing better. Oh, that's good. Needed it for, yeah, I guess. I guess. Um, I'm going to put a filter on here and see if I can punch that height map up to something I can actually, some, I hate trying to view height maps in this thing. I mean, it's there. This stupid thing just doesn't show any. So let's come over here and let's add a filter. And I think I'm going to add a, do I have a levels or something in here? Something like that. Gradient, height adjustment, equalizer. I don't know. Where's, oh, I know where it is. I keep forgetting. It's not actually a filter. They do this to me on purpose. I'm not looking forward to winter either. It says it's 48 degrees outside. It's about 61 in my house. I know, probably close to 65 or 70 in this room here, though. Still, I'm feeling a bit of a chill. There you go. Add levels. I keep forgetting levels is its own thing and not a filter. So I'm going to add levels. I'm going to see if I can get this height map to do anything. That doesn't seem to do anything. I can never quite understand how this thing works. I'm not seeing nothing. What the hell? I'll try this. Let's see what we get. We we used to. It hasn't been that bad. I can't say the word climate change anymore, though. Apparently, that would make me a terrorist. I don't know. I'm just going to export this out and see if there's anything in here. Control Shift D. Let's just do that. Do I have an option for just height map, or I'm just going to do, you know what? I'm just going to do the 5 channel. I'll export that. We just got that freezing rain here. Oh man, it's too soon for freezing rain. I think we got a frost warning. Let me open you with Photoshop. I think I'm going to check that normal map too. I think I can update it with that. And let's go ahead and actually, do I see? See, I'm not seeing any noise in here. That's the problem. I'm going to try something else. At least it generated this time. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to apply maybe another fabric material in here. And we'll try to punch up the bump map with that. Let's turn that off. Let's say Fabric. Let's come over to here. Let me find some sort of nice. See, I'm using this cotton. Let's not use that again. Let's try. You know what? Maybe I'll try that. Here, fabric vintage suit. Let's see if this gives me anything to work with. See, that doesn't have a height map. When I click on that, I'm not still seeing anything. So we'll undo that. What about wool herringbone? Do I get any see, I'm not seeing anything in the height channel. What the hell? Nothing gives me height data. Fabric base. Let's give that a shot. You know what? I'm going to put a blocker in here. Oops, I can't see chat anymore either. Today was gorgeous, though. Oh, that's good. At least to get today. We'll always have today. Let's put that there. Let's say height, rough, normal. Which one of you is the height? If I just do that, why am I not seeing anything in the height channel? Why? it should have a color in here. Why you no show color? What the hell is wrong with you? See, I'm seeing that. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to set these. So if I turn that on, click that, turn that. So that it should just be the height channel. So if I come over here to height, there it is. You know what? I was looking at a mesh map. I'm just not seeing anything. All right, let me see if I can tweak this to give me something that I can blend in for a decent height map. That is definitely way too big, right? I think that'll be a lot better. What I'm going to do is then turn you off. Put you on. What the frick? Wait a minute. I just had it, right? So that, right there. If I switch you to normal, then you just go away. If I switch you to overlay, you know what? I'll just do that. And that gives me a texture. I think maybe we'll try that. But I want to put this behind my stitching, which is over here. And let's just do that as maybe, let's just screen that. Is that what my problem is? Nope. If I just dial you back, do I start to see the other texture come through? Nope. What the hell? If I hide you, suddenly this is dark. I don't think you understand how screen works. All right, let me try something. What are you? I should just maybe not invert, maybe turn that off. If I just turn you off, that becomes visible. If I set you to just screen, you're black with white, so it shouldn't just block it out. It should. Oh, why? Why? This is frustrating. See, if I screen you, you're not, you just, you just don't understand how screen works, I don't think. If I just save that, I'm having one of those days where what should be happening isn't happening, and I don't understand what it's up to. And you know what? It saved it all right, though. So I don't know. Let's try that. Let's use that as a height map. Let me see. Did I get something out of the normal map? No, my normal map's janky. Let me see. I had a good normal map a minute ago. Let's try this again. Let's cut that. Let's drop that over into the other folder. Over here's the coverall folder. You know what? I'm still saving things with the wrong name. Control V. I need to replace one of these. Should say height. There it is. I'm going to replace that with what I just brought over. So we're going to need to change that to be 5. And then I want to swap out that normal map for something that has texture back in here. So let's try to do that again. So I'm going to turn those off. Let's jump over to the normal. Okay, I gotta... Oh, that's coming from the vintage suit. So I'm getting a texture there. And I'm getting that there. Oh, you know what? This is set too high as well. Let me dial that back. I keep forgetting to set to dial that back to maybe 0.5. So it's a little more reasonable looking. I think we'll go with that. Control Shift E that. I think I'm going to have better looking maps now. Export that. Let's get you out of the way. Just in case I missed something. Nope, did not miss something. So let's... Also, I'm calling this CC Basics 05 and not 6. So let's cut you, pop over to here, paste, replace, yes. I think I'm good with this. I'm going to hit save on that, close that down. All right, Dash Studio is running Iray in the background. So let's bring in the outfit and start putting textures on it. I think my bump map is going to be a little bit better now. Also, let's go into texture shaded for a little bit here. Let's load in a Genesis 8. So now that it's relatively easy for me to make short versions of things, I'm thinking I'm going to make, so the coveralls, there's the base version and then there's the undone version. Then I think I'm going to make short sleeve versions. And then I'll make short versions. Yo, Fallen Learns, how are you doing today? So that's the general plan. And then I got to do the Genesis 9 versions. So I'm going to end up with maybe 12, but hopefully it goes well. So there we are, coveralls. Let's put the coveralls on. I don't know if I saved those with textures. I saved it with the white. Let's see how that's looking. Also, I don't think I want the white to be the default texture. I think maybe I'll just go with a blue. Let's see, where are we? Take a look at that. I got my bump map. All right. Let's see if this is looking any better. The white texture might get a little blown out with this light. I have to, oh, my default camera is blurry. Never mind, close. Let's turn off the cameras. No. Where's my cameras? Editor. default camera. Let's turn the depth of field off on that. That's giving me issues. And well, thanks. Good to know. Control R. Let's see how this is looking. Let's see if I'm getting a little bit more texture in there. A little bumpiness on the surface now. I am. I can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. That looks so much better with that texture on there. Oh, I'm currently, you know what? I saved the wrong. Maybe I'll keep that though. I'm going to back up. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I'm seeing right now. I have a displacement map that's showing these bands, which are actually just there for the short versions, but I think maybe I'll leave those so that you can actually see those lines in the default version as well. I'm going to do a test render. I think I might do that because I think it adds a little extra interest to them other than just having that I'm behind a light. One of these days I'm going to remember to save with my key light behind the camera. So I have some displacement going on here on the sleeves, and you can see it on the legs as well. And I'm thinking I just might leave that there because it just looks interesting. So I think that's kind of working. So I think I am good to go with this. Even though I got a little bit of shade variation in there, that's the tricky thing. Maybe I'm going to pop the shadows and the highlights a little bit and resave these. There's a little bit, but I think it's too subtle and it's just looking washed out on a single color. So we're going to maybe tweak that a little bit. It looks so gray already. And also, let's pop out that. I might got that dialed back or something. I should set this to base color so I can actually see what I'm doing. I do have that kind of. Let's maybe bring that up a little. And then I'm going to resave that and see if any of that shows up. And we're just working with the base channels, so let's just save that. I don't need all of this. I want to keep that, but I'm going to call you white. And I should change the name of this to 5 instead of 6 because it keeps saving like that. And we'll drop that over here. And we'll pop back into here and I'll re-render that and see if I can see any of that. Not really. You know what? I'm probably gonna. You know what? I'm gonna call that good enough. Honestly, it's light gray, but if I do whites, whites just get blown out in DAS. Also, my lights are a little strong. I'm going to adjust those a little bit. I should probably save the scene without this. You know what? I'm going to do that. We're just going to delete this for a second. If I can figure out which one is the delete key. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to turn this light set off. I'm going to save this. I'm going to undo that. I'm still going to leave that light set turned off. Let's see how you're looking. It'll be fine. I'm going to call that white. All right, I'm going to start saving these out. I can see a little bit of the color variation in there. So what we're going to do when we start saving files is I'm going to turn the smart content off. Otherwise, we have to wait a few minutes for each save instead of a few seconds. So we'll stop the content management system here. I'll use the smart version because I tried the fast version once and it regretted that. So how am I going to save this? I'm going to save you as a material preset. You're going to be CC05 cover alls. I'll say white. These are agnostic. We're going to uncheck. I don't have D-Force on here yet. I have the wrong thing selected. There's my problem. Let's try this again. All right, CC05 cover alls white. That's better. And then when I right click and say uncheck all simulation settings, there we go. Save that. All right, now we're just going to do this 9 more times with this, change the materials a little bit, and then save 9 and 10 versions of the Warren. So let's come over here, click on that, and basically we're just going to drop in the color maps, not those color maps, these color maps. So the base color is right there. Let's see, drag and drop. Boop. Did not drop. It pretended to drop. There we go. It's the black. I got to touch up the black map just a little bit. I have to touch up most of my maps. There's a little bit of gunge from Substance. Open with, I think Photoshop's still open in the background. Yep. See, I got a little bit of this stuff going on. So what I'm going to do is I'll just clone stamp that out. Like so. And I got a little bit of, I think those are good. I got a little dirt there I need to get rid of. Like there. That there, we're not crazy about. I got a black mask in there, and I don't think I was sloppy with it, is what I think happened. All right, got the black done. Let's save that. I'm going to just click on you and say black. We are unchecking our simulation settings. It's saying accept to that. All right, I've already cleaned up the blue map, so I don't have to do that one in Photoshop again. At least that was the plan. I did that earlier, and that's why I know I have to clean it up. That is a material preset. That is blue. Uncheck simulation settings and accept. Alrighty, I got this dark gold color, which is kind of like a Carhartt. If you buy coveralls from Carhartt, I think they come in this color. At least that was my inspiration. Although I think they might have brown collars, but I could be mistaken. It's just something I spotted on the internet today, so it doesn't make me an expert. Gold, dark gold. Oops. Dark gold, darky gold. No, we don't say darky around here. Are you kidding? Man, that'll get me banned. Uncheck all simulation settings. Save that. Let's put you out of the way. Let's move on to the next one. Khaki. File. Oh, I gotta do the boots too. Actually, we'll do the boots after we do this. I think the boots are almost done. I have to get in the blender and UV map them. And then we'll rig the boots. That's what we're going to do. That's the ticket. Material preset. Let's call you khaki. Uncheck all our simulation settings. I knew I was getting something. There's an olive. Oh, I got to touch up. You know, it wasn't. I'm going to save this, then we're going to touch up the olive because I see a little bit of dirt. I probably should touch up these two as well. The pattern ones, you might not be able to notice it. Save that as a material preset. Olive. Uncheck all simulation settings. Save that, and we'll pop over to here. I'm going to open that up with Photoshop. And you know what? That looks fine. I don't need to touch up that dark gold. I'm going to close you. Let's take a look if the khaki needs a little touch up. I saw the olive does. I can probably use a little bit of touch up there. What's happening is I got a little bit of bleed in my texture map from the stuff underneath there. So we're running along here and seeing if I need to do any cleanup along there, and that's looking fine. It's a little more apparent on the dark colors. You can really see I got to touch that spot up right there. You know what I should do is I should probably do that first. Then I'm going to steal that. Got to put that right there. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Somebody else trying to get money out of me. We're not falling for that. Oh, there's a little bit of touch up I need to do over there. See that little spot there? Let's get that. Whee! All right, looks good. Hit save. All right, what's next? I've got 3. I call these pantsuit patterns. So I have you know what? You're not named right. You should not be plus. You should be underscore. And I'm just going to drag and drop that in there. So these are the fashions. So I'm going to save that. Material preset. I'm going to call it playsuit because they're actually kind of designed to go with the playsuit version of this, which is the one with the short sleeves and just short pants. Or I could just call it pattern 1. Maybe I'll call it just pattern 1. Playsuit. I'm going to call it pattern. Pattern 01. Let's just do that. Make it a little more generic. And maybe not capitalize that A. Try that. Uncheck all the simulation settings and accept that. And Photoshop's in the way. There we go. Photoshop is now in the way. Is now not in the way. We have pattern 2. Pretty. It's so spring-like. My phone make a noise? No, not really. Material preset. We're going to call you pattern 3 or pattern 2. Uncheck the yeah, simulation settings. You got it. There is, and there's a 3rd pattern. We'll go with that. I'm going to call you pattern 3 because that's how original I am. And uncheck that. Ooh, the Duke. How are you? Good to see you. Did that work? I'm going to do this again because I wasn't paying attention. I think I did that. I'm going to redo this. I'm okay. I'm doing all well. Okay. Well enough. I'm not dead yet. I think I'm getting better. All right. Uncheck all simulation settings. Excellent. Why are you? Because you don't have simulation settings? Because, oh, I know. That's fine. That's fine. Because I created you after, so I had to tweak that. I'm dying a little every day, but you're here too. That's what I understand. And then we're doing, oh, I got red and I got white. There's a red color. I am doing materials for coveralls. That needs a little bit of touch up. We'll do that with Photoshop. I'm just going to clone that out. I got a little bit of dirt on my patterns here. So we just take a vent, just use the clone brush. Should be good. And then we're going to save the red. Coveralls red, and then coveralls white. Then we're going to do the worn versions. So we're unchecking all our simulation settings there. All right, let's get the white texture on here. That's it there. It looks an awful lot like gray, doesn't it? White gets blown out so easy in DAZ. I already saved you though, didn't I? You were the first ones. So we're going to set this up for the dirt, the worn versions. So I have to update my metallicity map with that. There should be a roughness map, so we're going to update the roughness map with this roughness map. Oh, who's calling my viewers cheap? How dare you? Cheap viewers, my ass. I got the best viewers. I got me classy viewers. All right, I'm ready to, and now we'll do the dirt. Let's go over here and get the dirt on these. We'll start with the dirty white. I'm cheap. Okay, so I guess the bot was talking about you. Material preset that. I'm going to click on this and we're going to say Warren White. Not to be confused with Walter White. Accept that. All right. I'm going to try to arrange this so it's a little easier to work with. And it's not covering chat. It would be nice. You know, I'm just going to go with that. So there's Warren Black. That's not true. Material preset. Warren Black. Okay. Warren Blue. I check simulation settings and accept. And Warren Dark Gold. Turn off the simulation settings. If there's only a way I could, I don't know, I gotta look into setting it up so that I don't have to keep clicking on that. Every little click saves time. That's Warren Khaki. I think there is a Warren Olive. There is Warren Playsuit 1, which I decided to actually call Pattern 1. Uncheck simulation settings. Okay. Moving on. That would be pattern 2. Check simulation settings. Okay. There is pattern 3. Then we have red and white. And then I'm going to do some transparency presets. There's the dirty red. Material preset, I knew that. Warren red. Uncheck the simulation settings. And then Warren White. I heard a noise. Yo, a bit. there's a dyslexic heart for the bit, man. I appreciate that. You are the cheap viewer everybody's talking about. I still appreciate it though. I really do. Did I save you? Warren White, I did. All right, I'm going to set up a couple of opacity. I'm going to do 3 versions because I need a version for long and short tattered and a full version. So for that, I need to put a special shader on here. There's my special shader. Basically, most of the materials in here are set to a default, so only the things that I change get saved, except for some simulation settings, but we can ignore those. You can do better? You don't have to, though. But I appreciate the bit. I appreciate you being here without the bit. I'm going to make... What is that? That is a little bit better. Thank you so much for that. That's going into the Chris gets to feed the chinchillas this month fund. So the chinchillas, thank you. And I forget what I'm doing. I'm going to tweak my opacity maps, and then we're just going to save the opacity settings. So we're rolling down here. We're looking for opacity, thin-walled, emissive, cutout opacity right there. I'm going to crank that up to 1, and then I'm just going to save this file, material preset, CC05 opacity full. I'm going to do like that. I'm going to come over here and check only modifieds, and turn off all this. I get my shader's got some simulation settings buried in there somewhere. Our secret. I see nothing. I know nothing. I'm like Sergeant Schultz. Feed the fat German and you're good to go. Oh, I want to make a couple of changes. I need to make that invisible. So I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to pop over here to zipper attachment 1 and 2, I think. They get set to 0. And now I'm going to save that. Save that as a material preset. And once again, CC05 is the product. Opacity. I'm going to say full. And I'm going to save that. And we are checking modified only, and we are unchecking any simulation. And I don't know where it gets this tag shit from, but it doesn't do anything. So this is good to go. All right, now we're going to add a couple of transparency maps. One is going to be tattered for the full version. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to browse. I'm looking for that map right there. That one I don't need anymore. I'm going to just delete you. So that is a tattered opacity map. And we're going to save that as a material preset. I'm just going to click on opacity full. And we're just going to say tattered long, or tattered, yeah, I'm just going to say tattered. I'll say long. Just to overcomplicate things. Once again, only modified. Off with the simulation settings. Okay, now we're going to swap that map out for this short version. So that gives me a... See, it can turn into a play suit. So we're going to make play suit versions of this as well. And of course, since I can do that, I need a separate tattered map for that. Material preset. Do that. Say short. And only modified. No simulation, and accept that. I think that's most of the material settings I need. I may have seen... I'm not going to say I'm a huge fan of Hogan's Heroes, but face it, as a child of the 60s, I've seen plenty of Hogan's Heroes. And I'm pretty sure Sergeant Schultz was the secret weapon for the Allies. Let's be real, Hogan and his crew wouldn't have gotten anything done without the efforts of Sergeant Schultz. All this time we thought he was this bumbling German, when actually he was a super smart, deep agent. Okay, now what am I going to do? I think I'm going to work on getting the boots in here. Let's do that. So let's hide this. So the boots are... I have to UV map the boots, and then they're ready for exporting. Also, I'm going to add a morph to the boots that'll hide the shoelaces. The reason for that is so that they don't get in the way with the simulations when used with the coveralls. I think I'm going to do that. Anywho, let's launch Blender. Are you my Blender? Overalls, boots, back when I was calling it. So that's what we have so far. I think I'm ready to chop this up. And I gotta... Are you mesh? You are mesh. So I want to make sure... And I want to tweak that just a little bit. That's not... That can fit a little bit better. I think I'm going to change the shape of that just a little bit. Actually, I got proportional editing. Let's turn that off. I was looking at aglets, and they're not really shaped like this. I think they're mostly just straight. And I want to make sure that that is a little smaller. And then I'm going to make that a little smaller. I think that'll probably be good. I think I'm going to move you around a little bit. And you know what? I'm going to maybe squishy it higher. Rotate it a little bit that way. Maybe move it just a wee bit, like so. That's probably going to be good enough. I'm going to make similar changes to this one. You know, let's start over here. Dang it. I keep starting outside of the the window, which it doesn't like. I think that'll be good. Just flatten you up a little bit. I'm going to rotate maybe a little bit like that. Bring you down just a wee bit. You know, I think that's going to be good enough. I think I do have an aglet material there. It was a good show. Really weird about Bob Crane. What happened to me? It was the only thing I can think of when you think of the show now. Was he murdered? Wasn't that it? I can't quite remember. What is this man doing here? Yes, General Hochstetter. I don't even remember the names. Oh, Colonel Klink. Who can forget that? Sergeant Schultz. Hogan, and that's about it. I don't even remember the names of the rest of the heroes. He was murdered in his trailer. Oh, right. Let's change that. Do I have something that says aglet already? I do not. So let's change the name of that to be aglet. Did I UV map these? I thought I did. I want to take a quick detour into UV editing. I did not. I'm going to mark. I need to mark some seams on that, don't I? And these. I have a laces material, I think. I'm going to call you just. Do I actually have laces already? I probably do. I do have laces. So I'm going to set those to laces. They found all kinds of weird porn with him. It was never solved. Oh no, it was the weird porn. God, I hope it wasn't cheap stuff. I thought I had fixed you already. That's right. We're tweaking stuff that I thought I already did. All right, that needs to be laces tie. Control L. And Control L. Let's do that. And let's clone that. Did I do that right? I did not. I want a new Control Y. There we go. Let's just get a new material in here. Laces. Knot. I need to be able to grab just the knot part of this. Assign that. No, don't worry about it. It's not that weird. If I'm ignoring you, it's just because I get I distract easy with what I'm doing. I think we're good. I think I'm ready to start. I need to put a mirror modifier on this. I need to start UV mapping things. Again, need to combine. If I just combine that and that, do I have any modifiers on here right now? I don't think so. So can I just Control J? Is that a good idea? Let's do it the other way. There we go. Now I'm going to something in here. Let's make the aglet a color. And let's make eyelid, give that a color. Although I think it had a material on there. and lace knot. Let's give that a color. I think if I select a line like that and a line like that, I can probably mark a seam on those. I'm going to run around here. I'm going to mark a seam there. Actually, I'm going to mark a seam here. And I'm going, dang it. I went to, are you over there? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. That, and that. Let's mark a seam. Seam there. Put another seam on that edge. Let's go get the do kind of the same thing over here. That's mark sharp. Let's do mark seam. I missed. Mark a seam there. And then I'm going to come along. If I can just get that one right there. And mark a seam there. Okay, then I should be able to. I don't have to mark seams on those because the way I built them. There and there. And those go all the way through all of that. So we're going to mark a seam on that. Now comes the fun stuff. I've got a ton of extra little loops in here, so I'm probably going to clean loops up as I go. And so if I select that, you know what? I can select by materials and then mark and unwrap it and then mark that as an island. Which probably for a lot of this would be good. Although I've got a little weird slop through here, don't I? See, these ones here probably should be this material. So let me, if I just clean you up like that, how far do you go? You know what? You stay within the same material. That's kind of cool. If I expand you by one, you're still looking good. So what are you? You are boot. That cleans up a lot of that. I've got some weird noise down in here. You know what? I think I can live with that. Although, you know, there's an awful lot of extra lines in here. I could probably get rid of a lot of this stuff. I'm probably going to spend way too much time cleaning this up. Maybe get rid of those. And I can probably get rid of 3 of these. I can probably clean up a bunch of these. So let's just dissolve all of that out. That went a little weird. You know what? We can probably select that entire thing and assign it to whatever this red part is. Sole edge. I'll come in here, clean up a bunch of those. Maybe not that one. It's probably okay. I could probably, you know, I want to, I think maybe we'll get rid of every other He'll probably clear a couple more of these out. Dissolve edges. Maybe dissolve that one. Let's take a look at, I think maybe I got some of that out. I think I'm going to stop screwing around and get into the UV mapping portion. I think the best way to do that is grab it a material at a time, do that, and then later on we'll use the UV Pack Master to stick everything into half of a UV map. Oh, where did my thing go? How do I show the grid here? I always forget how to do that. Do I have my my box? I have my box, so it's good. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to come over here, select by material, and then start UV mapping that out. So let's do that. So we'll start with eyelets, and we'll select those. And we'll select those. Am I in edit mode? I am in edit mode. Why am I not selecting anything? Are my eyelets not assigned to anything? Dang it. I get the feeling I somehow lost those. Let's try this. Click, 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 and Control L. And assign. And I'll just do the same thing over here. So Control L, select connected. All right, now we'll pop back over to UV editing. Pop back over to UV editing, I said. I'm also going to switch this to shaded. All right, let's unwrap those. And I'm just going to grab them, drag them out of the way. Not that it makes big. Am I stuck inside? I don't recall turning that on. All right, boot, select, unwrap. Oops. It's probably good. Laces. I should deselect stuff as I go. Okay, that one is kind of stuck together a little weird. Let's figure out where you are and try to fix that. Did you loop around? You did. You're connected. Oh, you're probably connected up in the top. So what is going on here? I probably have... I could probably stand to put a seam in it here somewhere. Let me see if I can find that. It's right about there. I can't click on it. Let's try that. Nope. Did you go all the way around? You did, damn it. You know, maybe... Did you loop all the way through? I'm not sure you did. There we go. Let's mark a seam there. That didn't seem to do anything. That worked better. And I've got some funkiness here. Well, I'm not going to worry about that too much. All right, moving along. Sole edge. Nope. Sole edge select. I probably could add a seam on the back of that. And maybe one in the front. I want to bring that down through there. That's kind of like that. I may or may not change that. We'll see how this goes. So I'm going to select sole. I'm also going to select sole lugs with the sole. And we'll just unwrap those together. That's kind of weird. And let's try them one at a time. If I just do the lugs by themselves. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. It's kind of weird, but that's okay. I'm not too concerned about it. Moving along. The heel should be relatively easy. Toe cap should pretty much just be this part here. The tongue hopefully is just inside there. And I got liner. I got this boot trim. Probably fine. Or do I want to put a split in the back? Yeah, it'll probably be okay. We'll see how this looks. And the aglets, we did UV map those. So that's kind of, I guess I didn't UV map one of these all the way. You gotta cut there, you gotta cut there, you gotta cut there, and oh no, you didn't go all the way around in the back. I could have sworn I put a cut on that one right there. That's better. All right, that's a real hot mess. I'm going to mark seams for all the islands now. We'll do that. Seams from islands. And now we'll just, I'm going to just use the Pack Master to pack. Actually, let me scale everything to this. So let's pop back over to here. Select those, that, and that. And we'll do this, actually over here, it's over here. Adjust TD textile density to unselected, like that. And now we'll pack this. And I have a little pack area set up so it should fit into there. That should be the UV mapping. I'm going to set the mirroring up so it mirrors the UVs. So we're going to do that over here. So here's the mirror modifier. I'm going to come down to this data section and mirror the UVs. So this over here gets flipped for this over here. And I think we're good. I'm going to save this out. We'll get it over into DAZ. We'll rig it on the Genesis 9. I don't know if I'll get it on the Genesis 8 tonight. But after I do that, I'm going to make a morph that's going to take the laces and just shrink them down into nothingness. So let's do this. File export. You are now coverall boots. Because we decided to call it coveralls instead of overalls. And let's say, yeah, let's do that. Let's use the DAZ. So I'm only exporting my selected. Export that. Let's pop over to DAZ. Let's load in Genesis 9. I'm not posing the feet, so I don't have to go through extra tricks to set these up like heels. So I should just be able to run the transfer tool on them. Because they're kind of meant to fit a flat foot. At least that's what I was thinking when I was making these. So let's import in that geometry. Coverall boots. That looks good. Boy, it's like it was made for that. Go figure. All right, let's. I'm just going to run the transfer tool on this. When you're rigging heels and stuff, there's a lot more steps, but there's no pose in the foot, so we're good. Oh, I want to check something. I want to check my normals. Nothing quite like getting really far along a project and then realize some normals are backwards. Face orientation. Is anything? Do I see any obnoxious reds here? Nope, I think we're good. All right, my normals are looking okay. Now we'll run the transfer tool. Genesis 9. Coverall boots. Do I have a footwear template? Let's use that. I have to set it up so the coveralls will fit the boots. I haven't done that yet. So we may... Also, I probably should have them fit those legs a little bit better. Maybe we'll do that. Do I have some feet? I'm not seeing any feet. I thought I had feet in here somewhere. Nope. I have feet, but I got the wrong feet. I have a Genesis. Let's do a file import. Let's run over here and grab a Genesis 9. And I'm just going to tweak this just a little bit. We'll do a little bit of proportional editing on that. I'm looking at something I don't want to see. There we go. That's better. And then I'm just going to kind of adjust the fall off. I'm going to tweak that so that it's not just connected only. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of that. Scale a little bit on the Y. Tweak it back a little bit. Let's tighten maybe up a little bit on the X. I'm getting a little bit of poke through the back here, so we're just going to kind of maybe just slide that back a little bit. So that's a little bit better fit. I think we'll go with that. So we'll redo this. Activate, export, cover all boots. Export OBJ. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so I'm just going to rerun. All right, look, can I just update that? I might be able to just update that, the geometry without re-rigging it. Did I save you? I think I did. I'm going to put that there so I can see the change. I did not see the change. Did I do the save? Actually, I think it changed. That does look like what I have. I'm going to re-rig it anyhow. What the hell? Just to make sure. Favorites. Boots. Footwear template. Accept. I still have a half hour left. I might be able to. I'm going to do I'm going to save this again with no materials for Substance Painter. So we'll check that off. I'll come over here to Substance. And I'm just going to say, why is there a space there? Bad, Chris. Cover all boots, no materials. Save that. I'm just going to save that once again with materials, just so I know I have a copy here in the Substance folder. And I can then make an ID map with that. All right, we do have feet in here for that. So what I can do is, so that's going to be cover all boots for Genesis 9. All right, we're going to make a copy of that. And this will be for G8, and I'll fit that to that foot that's hanging out there by itself. So in general, I'm going to rotate that like 6 degrees on the y-axis. And I don't know if it's y, r, y minus 6. Nope. R, y, 6. Probably good. I'm going to kind of get that into there. I'm doing the wrong boot, damn it. What are you? Why am I not seeing you? Because I probably screwed that up. I don't see where you are. I'm in edit mode. That's probably not helping. What are you? You're those laces. Let's move you out of here. I can't find this thing. Where are you? Oh, you're over here. What are you doing over here? Why? Put that in the x-ray mode for just a second. Not that I've got so much dense mesh there. I can't see what the heck I'm doing anyhow. You're going to come somewhere about there. And you're going to kind of line up like that. No, I have those. Those are still there. Excellent. Um, so I have a little bit of tweaking to do on that. That's the wrong thing. And now we'll do some proportional editing just to pull stuff around a little bit. It's probably good. Oh, I clicked through. Let's turn you off. All right, how are we doing? Probably good enough. Again, I could use a little bit more right there. So that's going to be the Genesis 8 version. Oops, I got a little bit of pokey through over here. A little hokey pokey. I think we're good. I think I can export that and set it up on. Oops. Let's try. Bum, bum, bum. Coverall Boots G8F. And I think it's, I'll rename it when we get it over. Let's hit save on this. Let's pop over here. Okay, I'm going to get the morph on this first. Turn you off, turn you on. I'm going to shift D that and call that hide laces. Hide not. Let's say hide not. Did that stop? That stopped. There we go. So what we're going to do is scale that up without proportional editing on. And I'm just going to bring you back into here. So all of that part of the knot gets hidden in there. I'm not sure what you belong to. Oh, yeah, I still have the original in here. Okay, let's see how this works. F6. Hide knot. Maybe I'll capitalize that 8. Hop over to here. See if I can load that in as a morph target. And what am I calling that? CC05. There we go. CC05 coverall boots G9. Add the morph target. I am totally in the wrong project there. Right there, hide knot. I think that worked. Whoop! Yay, Control Shift F, bring it back. Let's throw my generic shader on here. Save it out. We're saving as a figure prop asset. I'm going to come over here to Genesis 9. We're going to save with this name right here, coverall boots. Save that. Oh, vendor name is not Daz3D. Vendor name is Chris Cox. Product is CC Coveralls. Item name is Control V. The rest of this isn't filling in because I have the CMS turned off. So I can't do any of this other stuff at this time. I'll have to come back and do that later. Wow, that's a lot of saving. That's because I just saved the Genesis 9 instead of the boots. Damn it. Well, now it's saving all the morphs. They're all associated with the Genesis 9. When this gets done, we'll resave it, and this time we'll do the boots. If it ever stops. Now it's writing assets. So this is saving all into my directory where the coveralls are. I'll have to remember, I'm going to delete that out and then we'll resave just the boots. When it finishes. If it ever finishes. what am I calling you again? Overalls is the folder, but I'm now calling you coveralls. We take a look over here at data. Me, coveralls. And that's all going into this folder right here, which I am just going to delete, because if we take a look at this, see, it's saved a Genesis 9 in there. And you can see it's saving out. All of these morphs are getting saved out. And I'm 75% of the way through now. Okay, 80% is about 90. I hope. One. All right, it's done. I done broke it good. Okay, this time I'm going to, why am I not, I see, there's the problem. I'm clicking on what I think is the boots, and it is still selecting the frickin' Genesis 9. All right, so what I'm going to do is I inadvertently basically saved a copy Genesis 9 over here. I'm going to delete that. And we'll try this again. All right, me. Coveralls. Boots. Accept. All right, I think these should be saved now. I'm going to hide these for just a second. Click on you. We're going to go find the coverall folder. Back over here. Right there. Should be the boots, right? Yay. Okay, I got boots. All right, so that should be good. Now if I bring that in, we'll have to adjust that to fit the boots now. You know, it just about fits even with the laces. So that's not too bad. I think if I run it now, it may blow up. So I'm going to reshape the bottom of those just a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get the Genesis 8 version set up. We have a Genesis 8 in here. And we have those Genesis 8 boots, so let's load those in. Open that. I think that should be good. Looking good. I should just be able to run the transfer tool on this because I don't need the, we're using a flat foot pose with those. So we are going to use the Genesis 8 female. I'm going to use these boots right here. And do I have a template for shoes? I don't, so I'll just say full body. I am going to make a morph to hide the laces for these as well. So basically I'm just going to make a copy of that. Hide that, tab into here. Select these. Scale back to 0. And I'm just going to kind of stick that little point right down in there somewhere. Then I'm just going to save that as hide not. I'm just going to overwrite the other one. And then we'll just come into here. And what are you? Let's tweak the name of that. You know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to take that 5 off of all of this. And I'm just going to say CC. Let's do CC. Let's do that. So next time I save all of these other ones, I'm just going to clear out a few more characters. And you don't have to say coveralls. You're going to say coverall. Boots. Should be good. Did I load my... I didn't load the morph target in yet. Hide not. Is good. All right, let's save the boots. Okay, we're not going to save there because that's Genesis 9. We're going to come over and save for Genesis 8. And you are going to be cover all boots, G8 female, CC. I think that works. And I just have to put a project name in there, and the rest of this should be good. And I can't do this because we have the content management system still turned off. All right, and let's just... I probably have to tweak the morphs of the posing on this a little bit. Not bad. I can probably smooth the weight maps out a bit. Do I have teeny toes in here? I do not. I just have toes. Okay. All right, so I got the boots. Yay. I still have 10 minutes. I think I will open this up in Substance Painter, and then we'll probably call it a night. I'll throw some textures on here real quick, but I'm not going to do anything too fancy. So did I not save you? So let's do File New. Let's select. There's those boots that we saved. I think that should be good. I'm going to hit save on that. I thought I just saved it, but it's making me save again. Is it still thinking? Did it do anything? Project failed to save. File. Save as. It says 1151. File. New. Select. Boots. Open that. Say OK. Say discard. The loading failed. Why did you fail to load? Let's take a look at what we saved. So maybe I won't get to the substance portion of that tonight. I wonder if I got something weird like bad UVs. Where is my... There it is. God damn it, those went away. Well, let's tab out of here. You know, that looks okay. I wonder if I saved it. Oh no, what are you doing over there? There's my problem. I'm gonna have to redo. I can re-rig really fast. It was easy. Um, and I don't have to redo the morph targets because those will be fine. I'm only changing the UVs. So let's resave everything. What am I? Did I hit this? No, that's an import. That's an export. That I'm going to come over here. I got materials checked, so I'm going to save that as the IDs. Export again. No materials. Turn that off. Export that. I think I can fix this. Anyhow, let's see if this loads in now. Oh, there we go. That was it. Bad UVs. Bad UVs. Let's bake the mesh maps. It's still baking. It's still baking. This is a fairly dense mesh. Efficiency wasn't an overriding concern here. All right, I think we're good. Off, off, off. Turn on, off and off. Set that to 4K. Load in the one with the colors. Make that cage really tight. Bake that. Should be good. Pop over to here. Painting. Let's do file save as. Let's call you coverall boots. Let's throw some textures on here really quick. Brass. So let's put the brass on the eyelets. Yay. That looks a little weird. It'd probably be fine. I checked for odd normals. And you know, this would show odd normals too. They would be invisible. That's right. There's a weird rope texture I like to use for laces. It has too many colors, but when I narrow it down, it works out well. I'm also going to apply it to those. And then we're going to scale it. Scale it some more. Oh no, the UVs are screwed up on that. I have to go back and fix the UV mapping on this. And it's about time to call it. So I'm going to do that. I have to resave everything and then reload everything. Let me hit save on this. Actually, let me see if I can fix that really quick and then we'll call it a day. Why do you keep hiding? Is it Control L on that? Yeah. Oh, that's see, you got funky, didn't you? Shift H. Now I can kind of see what I'm working on here. Figure out why. Did you just not mark a seam through that? Is that what that was? That was probably it. Let's just put you over there. Bring everything else back. Let me adjust the TD on that. And then we'll just repack. Then we'll just re-export. Materials. IDs. Click materials for that. Export that. Should be good. Pop back over here. We'll update and rebake. Do I have to rebake? I do have to rebake because I changed the UV mapping. So I do have the ID map ready to bake, so we'll just bake that real quick. And then we'll just rebake the others. Reset defaults, did that work? Put you back to 2K, clear that out, bake those. We're not gonna actually have holes here. I'm just gonna put black behind all of those. And we're coming up on 9 o'clock, so we're gonna raid somebody here in just a couple minutes. I'm gonna check some textures on here real quick and then call it a day. After we finish baking these textures, if ever. That looks a little weird too. I don't know. Was everything else baked okay? I think it was. All right, back over to painting. See, that worked out a little better. That got bled over into there. I think that's just a matter of tweaking the tolerance of this. There we go. Yeah, those are looking fine. So I'm going to make this still a little bit smaller. Kind of like that. I'm going to just change these to like tan colors, I think. Something like that. So it's going to look a little bit like that. Let's throw a leather on here. I'm probably going to change my mind as to which leather I'm going to really use, but I think for right now, I'll just drop that on there. And we'll just assign it to that, and that, and that, and that. Okay, let's just put a rubbery material on here. I will know dirty rubber floor. Let's use that. There. I'm going to make it dark. And we're going to tile it up a bit. And we're going to put it on that and that. Actually, that's not too bad. I might just leave it like that. And then I just have this weird... I do have flipped normals right here, damn it. I can probably just flip them and then redo this. I do need a plastic. I'm gonna like take that and stick it on here and change that color. And there's a suede. Did I see? I can't spell. I'm spelling suede wrong. Of course I'm spelling suede wrong. I keep seeing it and then I see it goes away. At least I thought I saw it. Blue suede shoes. Maybe I should just type in leather. There it is, natural suede leather. I'm going to put that on the inside there, like that. And I'm probably good enough for now. Oh, you need this color over here. Climbing rope. Did I not click on that? Is that actually the same as the tongue? Is that my problem? I think that's actually my problem. That's where I lost it. Over here. Let's change that tolerance. There we go. That's probably going to be a good start for the boots. We're going to call it a day there. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Duke, it was good. And thank you for the bits. I really appreciate that. Leo. Good to catch you. We had Rod Shelley in the house. And I think that was it. Charles didn't make it tonight because he had to unload a truck at work. So he's tired. But anyhow, check out Charles's Discord. You can follow him on Twitch, but I don't know if you'll ever see him there. Did I hit save? I hit save. Let's find somebody to raid. It is Thursday. Amaranth is doing art. She's only got 200 people. Is she still on? Does Baron the Bard. Alchemutation is doing music with 9 people. As I understand it, we just raided her Tuesday. Guns of the Hellgast is playing Castlevania. All right, now I'm rolling my way back up. And Bad Tooth Records is on. Let's go over and say hi to Dr. DK, playing music. One of my favorite musicians on Twitch, Dan, aka Dr. DK or Bad Tooth Records, doing Americana Trash. So if you can stick around for the raid, that would be awesome. If there's anybody actually here. Hey, I sell stuff at Daz. Feel free to throw money at me. That's fine. Feel free to join the Discord. You can do that as well. If you put stuff in the art gallery, we share the art gallery on Sunday or Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Saturday Night Social Eastern Time. So there is that. Also, I try to announce whether I'm streaming on scheduled streaming days in the Discord. Next one will be Saturday at 1 p.m. And then we're back at 8 p.m. on Saturday for the Saturday Night Social. I'm glad to hear Joe's doing better, Rod. If you're still there, tell her I say hi and wish her the best. And let's do this. We have the raid calls. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to use that. If you are a subscriber, you can use the sub raid call / Raid. If there's anybody on the YouTube, I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, though, feel free to join the raid. And there we go. Raid has been started. Let's come over here. So I hope you all have a good rest of a Thursday or Friday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. And yeah, take care, Rod. Hasta la vista, baby.